Once upon a time, I started telling my terrible dating stories on the internet.
And I said, girl, this needs to be a podcast.
And I said, okay, but how do I do that?
And I said, don't worry, I got you.
And I'm like, okay, what are we going to call it?
I know, it's Rebrand pending.
Okay.
I picked this outfit because I was like, for sure, Kristen will not wear something animal print red and pink.
So I went through the same thing and said, since we showed up in floral last week, she's not going to wear red. And here we are.
I actually don't wear red unless it's mixed with pink. You just wore like the Kristen version of this craziness.
I did. This is my Halloween / Christmas shirt. Or if I'm feeling a little bold.
As you should.
All right, well, I guess we're going with it.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is none of these outfits are coordinated. We just show up to record and somehow we're wearing the same thing.
Yeah,
by the way,
same.
I love your hair today.
Thank you.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah. There we go.
All right, so this was an impromptu podcast that we find ourselves on.
Yeah.
Last podcast, if you remember, Hazel decided to just drop a bomb on us casually in passing. I don't know, I'm being dramatic. But she mentioned that she was psychic, and I want to dig into that a little bit more because I can't give you any specific examples, but I recall thinking that I was psychic before. Like,
Yeah.
like just being like, I have a thought and then it just like happens. And like nothing like too recently has occurred. But anyways, I wanted to hear like all of that
Okay.
from you. So I'm just gonna like hand it over to you. Let's just get into it. No intro, no notes. Let's go.
Yeah, no, there are no notes. Okay, so it all started in my early 20s. Okay, I had just moved from here in Ottawa to, I can't even look at this. Why are you typing?
Oh, sorry. I just didn't want to. I needed to add a column because we're off schedule because of the impromptu pod.
Sure. Okay, so I moved, I had just moved to the Valley, and as a young 20-something-year-old, picture this, I'm walking my fluffy black dog on the side of the road, like before work one day, and I hear, hi there, and there's no one else there.
So your dog's talking to you.
I'm like looking in the ditch, I'm like, am I about to be on an episode of Criminal Minds, because I, like, there's someone in the field right here, like, I don't know, and I'm like, but there's no one there, and I'm like, oh, okay, that was weird. So I keep walking. Hi there. It does it again. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. I go home. I go to work. I go about my business. I go to my family doctor. And I say, hello, doctor. I am hearing voices from people who are not there. And I do have an uncle with schizophrenia. It's time. We've caught it early. What are we doing?
Okay, we went 0 to schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the obvious answer.
Yeah.
And he said, Hazel, there is nothing wrong with you. The help you need is not help I can give you. And I said, why are you talking in riddles? I am really freaking out. And he was like, so doctors can't, like he's like, later in conversation, he was like, I'm glad you found a solution to help you with your problem, because like I can't recommend a non-medical intervention, like legally or something. I don't know.
Okay.
So anyway, so he's talking in riddles. What you're looking for, I can't give you. And I was like, what does that mean? So I go home, and then I hear singing in the house. There's no one there. I start seeing shadow figures, though, in my backyard.
Oh, that's so creepy. I have that all the time and I hate it.
No. So I'm chatting with my mom one day, and we're like going to the mall for something. I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah is happening to me. And she goes, oh, I didn't know. What did she say? She said, I didn't know that you experience things that strongly. I was like, what? And she was like, but I do know someone who can help you. And so she had a coworker at the hospital at the time who is a psychic medium.
Okay.
And so she took me to chat with this person. It was like a card reading or guidance session. But so we talked about what I was experiencing, and she helped me not control things, but set boundaries with things. So even to this day, like, one of my brothers owns a farmhouse that is hundreds of years old, okay? And so when I pull up in the driveway, and because I've set these boundaries though, there is a ghost that stands like just to the side of the driveway, and I'm like, that's fucking right. You know, the rule is that you
Wait,
don't bother
you can
me.
see it?
Yeah, sometimes. Like, the rule is you stay over there and you don't fucking bother me. Like, kick them out. Firm boundaries, kick them out, protect your space. Like, that is not the way to communicate with me because it's scary. And so that's really worked for me. And then she also got me into Reiki with energy healing. So I've done level 1 through master teacher, master trainer.
Oh, like you can like teach it? Like do it?
I could. Yes, I could.
Very cool.
And so that has really helped, like any energy work, I think helps you just like connect with different parts of the universe better, depending what you believe though, right? So that's kind of like in a nutshell how I started on this journey. But so now, because of my firm boundaries, like there's different, like, clairvoyant is seeing, clairaudient is hearing. Like there's different kinds of clair something, right? So for me, the closest thing that I experience is like claircognizance, where like information just comes into my head. And it didn't come from me.
So kind of like what's that is her name, Lisa something or other? That she'll go up to like people in the grocery store and she's like, "Oh, like I'm getting a message for you. Your so and so wants you to know." What's her name? She's a medium. She has a TV show.
Teresa Caputo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not quite like that. Like I don't talk to dead people. So she's a medium, I want to say is the difference. Psychic and medium are different. Like I don't talk to dead people.
Okay.
Fuck 'em.
Okay.
I'm not doing that. But I believe everyone could do it if they wanted to. It's like information comes into my head and then it's true. And so when I drop things into speech, like, it's okay, I'm a little bit psychic. Like, it's just like, that's how I feel. It's okay. I just know that it's the truth because I'm a little bit psychic. Or, I don't know, like my mom or whoever will say something, or I'll say something, and then like 2 minutes later it'll happen. How did you know that? I'm like, oh, I'm psychic. It's fine. Like, it's not a big deal to me. Like, it's just part of how I experience the world. So it's like not so shocking to me. And I hang out with a lot of people who are like harness their gifts and like have made businesses off of their different gifts, right? So numerology, tea leaf reading, psychic mediums. Who else do I know? Like, I know a lot of people who do a lot of crazy shit. What I experience is not that crazy.
That's so cool. I find it really interesting. I want to like pay more attention to it. Like, because I like totally remember like having those thoughts of like, oh my God, like did I just like make that happen? Or yeah, was I psychic and like it came true?
Yeah.
Do you think nowadays with technology it's almost harder to connect with that side of yourself?
I don't think it's technology based. I think it's just like, for me anyway, having so much other noise in my head, like,
yeah,
I don't know, like being married and then not married, and then mental health, and then like job stuff, and then like the pandemic. Like, I have to be really like in the right frame of mind for everything to flow properly.
that makes sense. Now we're never just like sitting there bored, where I feel like kind of helps manifest these thoughts and stuff, whereas now it's like notification, phone calls, like just so much going on all the time.
But at the same time, things like electricity, that's energy, right? So like, in a way, electronics and technology is like one of the easiest ways to communicate with whatever you're communicating with. Like I have been doing voiceovers for like a bakery TikTok, okay? And then while I'm editing, not on here, on my iPad because it's a bigger screen, but while I'm editing with my headphones in, I'm like talking, and then I hear, oh yeah. Like in the audio part, I'm like, oh, the fuck was that?
Is it in your audio or like only you hear it?
No, I sent it to people and I was like, what the fuck is this? And they were like, oh, someone's agreeing with you.
Oh,
I
that's
know.
kind of crazy. So it's
Yeah.
actually like captured their voice with you.
Yeah. So in a way, technology, electricity, these kinds of energy makes can be like used to connect with whoever you're talking to.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Has anything psychic related happened since you and I have been like chatting or anything other than us showing up wearing somewhat of the same
The
thing
same
slash
outfit
color?
every
Because that
time.
is kind of crazy.
Um, no, but I'll let you know if it does.
Okay.
But I just had surgery. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have other things in my mind.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Um, Unrelated, but like same, but different.
Yeah.
I have, so when I first started out my like real estate photography journey, one thing I did was a service swap with somebody I became friends with, and she's a Feng Shui consultant. So like,
Whoa.
very energy heavy. She did a report on my office. And because I could feel that my office, the energy in it was off, and I had like reorganized it like 3 times and never quite like found what felt right. So I fully took her advice, rearranged the office, and it's actually crazy, like the positive energy that's in it. And this is a little dark, and I don't mean this like badly if any of my family hear it, but one thing she told me is not to have anything dead in my room because I had a couple plants that were not thriving. Like they were on the cusp of like dying, okay? So
Yeah.
she's like, you can't have anything dying in your office, so like these plants have to go. And I was like, well, I have my grandma's ashes in my office, which is technically, I'm like, and she's like, no, that doesn't count. And that was also why I wanted to ask you about, like, if there's been anything psychic, because I'm interested to see, because she's, like, right behind me, which to me is, like, very special, that I'm like, I wonder if this is ever gonna, like, I don't know, manifest into something, which, like, also though, like talking boundaries, I have like literally like said out loud, like please do not fuck with me.
Yeah.
Not just her, but like any like spirits, because I will get terrified and scared. I really
Yeah.
don't like that.
Yeah.
It makes me feel really uncomfortable. So that could be the other thing too, is like, yeah, there are boundaries there.
Yeah. Amazing. If anything comes up, I will let you know. And I'm sure, honestly, I'm sure now that we've talked about it and like put it out in the universe, that's how manifesting works. Like it'll happen.
Okay, cool. I think that would be interesting. What are your thoughts? Actually, you kind of covered it, but because you mentioned about like the old farmhouse with like the ghosts on the side of the driveway.
Yeah.
So one thing that I feel is like the energy in different like rooms and spaces. So for instance, when we first moved into this house, like I was very like hesitant with buying this house. Like it just, something felt kind of off, although on paper like it was perfect for us. In the end, obviously we ended up buying it, but one big thing was our basement here. Like I would literally go in our basement and get goosebumps instantly. It
Yeah.
like creeped me out so bad. Like the vibes in there were like actually scary. Like I literally wouldn't go downstairs by myself. Like it was like really creepy.
Yeah.
Especially like the previous owner left behind some furniture, but like the randomest stuff. Like there's this one room in our basement, and it's like it's so creepy. Like the ceiling's really low, it's really cold, almost like damp, and he left behind like a child's desk and like chair in this room. But like this room was also painted. The top half was bubblegum pink, the bottom half was like an army green, and then it had a zebra print piece of tape around the outside. There was also like a hole in one of the walls where like, I don't know, something happened obviously, and like there was like just a little, like the drywall was like crushed in, not like a full hole.
Yeah.
But I'm like, please tell me that this was never a little girl's bedroom. Like, and that, like, really creeped me out. Like, nobody should be sleeping in this room.
No.
It's so creepy. And I don't know. So, like, now, I've always thought about, like, what happened in this house before I lived here that left behind these bad vibes. Because I feel like the more we've lived here, and, like, downstairs now, like, I've cleaned it 1,000 times. It's all new furniture. Like, we've also... we're not quite renovated yet, but, like, I've removed a lot of stuff, like the carpet and, like, tons of things down there just to make it feel more clean and, like, cleansed. And I don't feel that way now. Like, now I can go down there, no problem. Our laundry room and everything's down there. It's fine. Anyways, what's your feedback on that? Do you feel, like, the same way in, like, spaces, areas, places? I don't know.
I don't. I think in a lot of ways I feel, like, immune to things like that. Like, even when people will say, like, oh, it's a full moon, things are going to be crazy, or, like, I don't know, like, whatever's in retrograde. So I'm like, why? Like, I don't think we should be using, like, celestial events as an excuse to, like, act a certain way. I think that you still have agency over yourself. But similarly, like, I just don't experience, like, energy things in that way. But I can tell you, like, if ever I'm buying a house again, normal people are like, yeah, well, we'll need an inspection. I'm like, I need a psychic to cleanse this place. Or, like, I need to know, like, energetically what's going on with this property so I know what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's totally fair. I can't see any realtor suggesting that, of like, okay, let's call in the home inspector and the energy inspector.
Right. And likewise,
like,
if you're trying to sell your house, like, there are things energetically, like, different kinds of meditations you can do to, like, pull your own roots out of the house and the property to help it sell faster, or whatever the case may be, because you're energetically removing yourself from the house and property.
Ooh.
It's
that's
like
actually
reverse
kind of
manifesting, or just regular manifesting. Yeah. But instead of getting something, you're looking to remove something.
Yeah. Well, and then it probably, people even looking at the house, they can put themselves there easier, right? I've listened to a podcast, it was a while ago, but kind of along the same lines of, like, talking to your house like it's a living being, and, like, when you go away being like, hey, bye house, like, we'll see you soon. And I actually did that for a while and I kind of stopped doing it, but I don't know, it's kind of like this cute thing. But it's like, your house is kind of like part of the family. And, like, technically from, like, in, like, architecture and building science perspective, like, houses and buildings are, like, essentially, like, living and breathing. There's even something called sick building syndrome, like, if it's designed incorrectly. So, I mean, it's not too far-fetched. It's kind of like when the psychics and the physics meet each other.
But, like, physics, like, there's science to prove all of what I'm saying. Like, quantum physics is, like, this atom over here can affect this atom over here, but they, like, have never seen each other. Like, it's a thing. And in time, too. Like, time is just a thing we made up. So.
Interesting. This was a fun little spontaneous pod, and just, like, more from, like, a curious, like, I just wanted to dive into that and hear your thoughts on it.
Very different topic, but every time you talk about, like, architecture, I think about space planning videos that I am obsessed with watching.
Ooh. Like, to, like, lay out, like, rooms and stuff?
Yeah, or whole houses. Yeah, like, you need a certain number of feet between the counters and your island, and if you don't have enough square footage in the whole room, then you can't fit an island. There's nothing you can do about it. It's going to be fucked up. Or, like, bathroom square footage, and, like, technically we can fit all these things, but let's look at, like, how they actually work. Oh, it's fascinating.
Ooh, that could be a fun pod. I should show you what I've done. So, my love for design that I don't get from, like, my, like, day job or anything. Yeah. We, like, plan out, like, our renovations, and, like, the way that I like manifest the future is like I need to like fully visualize it. So we're gonna build a house one day, and I have fully designed it, set up the rooms.
Yeah.
I have set the table in this house, okay? So I have this app on my iPad, and like the house I live in now, I've drawn it like to scale, and fully like we fully planned out like all of our renovations and everything, so I can show you that and then show you the like house that we've designed. It's so cool and so fun, and it's one of those things where like a Friday night, if I get into this, my husband literally needs to like peel the iPad out of my hands and be like, it's 3 a.m, you need to go to bed, because like time doesn't exist. I get so lost in it. I could just get stuck there. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me.
Add that to the notes.
Yeah. Because, like, see, this is another practical application of math that I never thought I would encounter.
Yeah, 100%. All, like, interior design and architecture is, like, all math. Because there's the, like, functional of, like, how to use the space, but there's also, like, rules. Especially when you're working in tight areas. Like, you literally, like, have to reverse engineer. Okay, I need this much space for this much space for this. How much is left? All right, before we close up the pod, anything else you want to add?
I don't know. Do graveyards freak you out?
No, actually.
Neither.
Yeah. Oh, except we went on a trip in like the fall that just passed. We went on a cruise, and we got off in, hang on, can't believe I'm blanking on where it was. I have so many. It might have been St. Thomas, and we took a bus to like, so you get off like the cruise ship, and then we took a bus to like their like shopping center. So you get to like drive through like quite a bit of the like towns and stuff.
Yeah.
Their graveyards, the graves are not buried. So I don't know, like they're an island, so like I don't know if maybe it's like really rocky or something. So when you look in the graveyard, you see the full casket, like not even cremated, like just it's the full size casket. And then sometimes like I googled it after because I was like very fascinated.
Yeah.
Family members are put together, so sometimes you'll have like 4 caskets stacked on top of each other.
Interesting.
And I will say, this could be unrelated. However, when we passed by the one, like, massive cemetery, it smelled really bad. And, like, I don't know if you remember when you were a kid, it was, like, this fun game when you were in the car and you're like, oh, cemetery, like, plug your nose. I don't know, it was, like, this weird thing. No? Okay. But, like, obviously, a graveyard doesn't actually smell. But anyways, when we were there, like, maybe there was like a landfill or something close by. Maybe it was unrelated. Anyways, it smelled so bad, but because you had a bad smell and we were like driving next to the cemetery, it like creeped me out, and I was like, I'm going to hold my breath for as long as I can just in case. But I was Googling it, and apparently it shouldn't smell because like they seal it and everything. But like, who knows, since something's been sitting there for like 50 to 100 years, like eventually does that sealant wear off? Like that wouldn't surprise me. I don't know.
We need to ask a mortician or something.
ChatGPT, she knows everything.
That's true. That's true.
Do you name your ChatGPT? Because I've heard people recently that have.
No.
I feel like I need to, but like naturally I'll like a name will just like pop up, but I haven't felt the need to yet.
Yeah, you don't have to like put brain power into this.
I mean, valid. Like, what if I asked ChatGPT, like, what
her name is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see.
We can get a psychic on here.
That would be really cool.
I don't know what. We just have to figure. We want to ask them, but I know a few.
Ooh, okay. Alrighty, I have to run.
Okay. Bye for now.
Bye for now. That was an awesome podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.